It was one of Pete's hobbies. He had to be known for something, so that's what I was. A computer guy, who dressed well enough not to be called a nerd. So there's this party I'm throwing at my house next week. You're invited, by the way. Great, another one of these. And we're looking to score something really special, you know what I'm saying? Of course, everyone knew that Mike and all the players in the football team were massive junkies. How they were never caught with one of those surprise urine tests is beyond me. I nodded and he continued. Thing is, my dealer's out of town and I need to get something ASAP. And I heard you may know a guy who's into some shit. The way he said that gave me pause. What does he know? If there were any insecurities, I managed to keep them from showing on my face. I tried to deflect. Hey man, I have no idea what you mean. I'm the guy you call if your printer's broken. What does this have to do with getting, stuff for the party? He looked at me and said, I heard you know about the dark web. You can access it. I know there's all sorts of stuff there and I was hoping you could help a friend out. Since when are we friends? I nearly asked. At that moment I was going to leave. But then, I thought, Mike is rich, his family's loaded, and I did hear those rumors. I think he's into some shit too. Plus, he's an ass. It'd be fun to take him down a peg. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know anything about that really, but I may know a guy who knows a guy. I'll ask around and if they're up for it, they'll reach out to you, I said. Mike's eyes lit up and he smiled. His cheeks were redder now. That's my man! He patted me on the back and went back with his people. Later that night, I returned home and fired up my system. Have you heard of those dark web mystery boxes? Those are fake. The real dark web is a lot worse than something you see on some YouTube channel. Far worse. And I should know, because that's how I earn my living. I can put you in contact with dealers of any substance, illegal weapons, contracts, you name it. You pay me, and I keep the money safe for service. Then I send the payment to your seller.
Heal me.
All I ask is 10% of the transaction. It may not sound like a lot, but earning the web's trust is difficult, and I'm a man of my word. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars in all sorts of digital currency. If all goes well, by the time I'm 18, I'll be a winner. I reached out to Mike. He answered asking about it. I said he wasn't worried about it. I asked what he was trying to score, and he said he was looking for psychedelic mushrooms. A particular kind that you can't get in the US. It would be expensive. But, as always, I know a guy. I reached out to the seller. They gave me the price, and I got back to Mike, explaining that the seller Mike sent one last night, asking me if he should deliver goods himself to the party on Friday. I was sure to let him know that this would not happen. He seemed upset by it. The transaction still went through. Mike was stupid enough to use his school email for this. Jocks are not very smart, I suspect. And having his email address allowed me to mine for some of his personal information. Now, he had a purchase of an illegal substance tied to his school ID. I had broken into the school database a million times, so collecting all his info in time for the purchase was easy.
Strength fails.
Together in a simple identity file, which I'd send to the FBI anonymously, along with the key to decrypt it. But I noticed it faded on my computer. Files were in places where I never put them. My system would randomly freeze, and several times it crashed for no reason, forcing a reboot. That Friday, I woke up to a message in my inbox. We know, it said. A chill ran down my spine. The only thing I could think to do was to move all my crypto to an external drive, and take that with me somewhere safe. I disconnected the whole system and took it to my car. I drove around the inner city until dark, when I found a homeless encampment. Some of the homeless were warming their hands to a fire that raged inside a camp. I went in and dropped my laptop and the rest of my equipment into the pyre. When I drove home, I saw several black vans, ranging lights, and many FBI codes coming out of my house. I was too late. I drove away as fast as I could, my mind racing,
a bit early
myself
there.
how the fuck they were able to catch me. I'd been so careful. My phone. I never answered my phone. Curiosity got the better of me. I needed to know. Hey, Pete. It was Mike. His voice was different now. Cold, calculating. But he also seemed to be enjoying himself. What the fuck? He interrupted me. She was my girl, Pete. You fucking sold her out to some asshole half a world away. She was a product and a shell. No, I didn't. What the fuck is happening, Mike? I asked. He just laughed. You're getting what's coming to you, you sick fuck, he said. I've been working with the cops for months. When Megan went missing, the feds began investigating everyone at the school. And apparently they found some odd traffic in your house. All they needed was a way in, and that's when they approached me. I begged them to let me help, actually. My heart was about to explode in my chest. I was gasping for breath as I stepped on the gas and began to drive faster and faster. I have no idea what's happening, I shouted, but Mike just laughed. They got it all, Pete. When you looked for me to make the sale, you were actually talking to an agent. I have no idea how they did it, but they got into your system. They got it all. I'm not buying your act anymore, Pete. By tomorrow morning, everyone at school will know the kind of monster you are, he said bitterly and hung up. The truth is, I did know what had happened. There was an interested party overseas. I never asked for a fee.
All right.
I really hated friends. She was very pretty, so when I showed pictures to the buyer, he immediately sent the payment. I got a local crew to do the job, and I scored a nice payday. I kept driving until a patrol saw me and began chasing me. I managed to keep some distance between us, but soon I heard the helicopter above, and before I knew it, I was headed straight for a police barricade. I crashed into it and lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was completely restrained, and there were cops. I asked for a lawyer. I was told my family wouldn't pay for one. My mother was in shock, and my father was furious. They hadn't told my grandma about it, afraid that she would take the news badly, and that her heart wouldn't be able to take it. So, this is why I've written this small account of the facts. I'll accept whatever fate awaits me in trouble. Probably glad for the law. We'll see. If it means anything, I do my best.
A short respite should be enough.
Maybe she will. I guess we'll put some Sean will keep pursuing behind us in the dark. On this beat, there's a good kid.
I married my wife. The other night, we were sitting at our table, having some wine after dinner. We were just doing our usual joking around and being playful. He asked me,
Your strength fails. Still recharging.
just the most annoying place you've ever worked in. And normally I just give some bullshit answer about how I used to work in a job in retail in the food industry. But I was in a bit of a talkative mood. When I was 16, I used to babysit this 8-year-old girl who lived on my street, Samantha. Her parents knew my parents, and so it was a pretty chill gig. Sam's parents would go out to dinner or a movie or something, and I'd just feed her some mac and cheese, then tuck her in. I made like $50 a night, which was a lot of cash as a teenager. I did the job several times a week for about 6 months, but there was a good stretch of time during the final month I babysat where things started to get weird. At first I thought it was just Sam's imagination running wild, as children's minds do, but I quickly realized she was never lying. She was always 100% honest.